what's going on, Connect fam? Your girl Stitches here. You are watching the Connect Network TV right here on the CW. Each and every Saturday morning, we're bringing you leveled conversation and, of course, information to propel women in business and female entrepreneurs to new heights. And from time to time, we'll sprinkle a couple of amazing men as well. So my girl, Sandy Glint, my co-host, is not here today, but she definitely will be back next Saturday. So don't worry about it. She's slaying all things with her crowd. But from luxury events to slaying business with style, darling. And later on, the cutest hippie soul candle shop in Florida tunes in. Plus, this morning, we're going to talk with Constantine, who is sharing her journey from prison administrator to entrepreneur. Yes, it's a jam-packed show, so let's go. Our guest is taking the event space by storm and curating custom events across the country. If you are having a big event and the decor and production needs to be top-notch, there's one person that you're going to call, and she's here with us, Miss Tyra Nicole. Hey, Tyra. Hi. Who are you going to call, Tyra?
I'm right here at your service.
Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing amazing. I can't wait to delve in to the conversation with you. So I named some pretty big names, and I know you're going to delve more into it, but not only just celebrities, but also big brands that you have been able to create events for. Before we get into these clients, can you first please share your personal journey? How did you really get into this experimental space of eventing? Like, can we say, is that a word, eventing?
Right, we'll make it a word today. It's okay. The funny thing is, I actually started as a nursing student, and I was like, everybody thinks, you leave high school, you go to college, be a nurse, like be a doctor, be this, be that. And so I went for the first 2 years, I hated it. And I was like, I'm just going to take a step back. Let me figure out what I really want to do. And that's when I started working with an art company, an art organization actually called Art is My Drug that I still work with today. And I was curating all of his events. I was helping him like manage his company. And I was like, I could do this myself. So let me venture off. So in 2017, I actually started with Tyra Nicole Productions. That was the first name ever. And I was actually a marketing and event production company. And, you have to go through different phases to kind of see where you really fall into. So that's how we landed where we are today.
Exactly. And you never know where your next blessing is going to come from or through who. And you mentioned, Tyra, something about experimental marketing as your stick. Can you explain really what that is and what that means?
Yeah, so it's actually called experiential marketing. So creating an experience, and a lot of this is more so with brands. So a lot of brands are wanting to be really tied in with their consumers. The event production is for really anyone because we do weddings, we do baby showers, like Hendrix. And then we also do retirement parties like I did for Tabitha Brown. So it's just a full-on creative agency. Whatever you need, we could do.
I like that. That should be the tag. Whatever you need, we can do. And I got to name, we have to name drop just a little bit, if that's all right. We kind of delved into Grammy nominated, award-winning, folks. But some of your past clients, can you share with us that you remember that some of the most memorable creations that you produce for them? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I'll start with Tabitha Brown, actually, because I worked with her for the very first time post-pandemic, post having my son. Wow. And, during the pandemic, the event space completely was at a halt. Like no one was doing anything. Everybody was in, a lot of different industries. And so when I got that call actually from a really close friend of mine who was her private chef, he did a lot of work with her. And he was like, I know she's planning her husband's retirement party, and she's looking for a planner. And I was like, oh my God, yes, give her my information, of course. And so he did. And she called me. And when I got that call, I was like, that's Tabitha Brown.
Wait, I don't mean to do this, but you got to tell me, how did she pick up the phone? Because she's known for her accent. How did she?
Oh my God. It was the standard, "Hey, honey, this is Tabitha," and I was like, "Oh my God." And then her spirit, even before I met her in person, is just as genuine as it is on camera. Like, I love her. And so I was able to produce that party for her. And at that party, actually, because mind you, it was post-pandemic, so my prices, I'm like, oh, like I just need to get some income. Like I need to get back in the groove of things. She told me, like, honey, listen, like you are worth way more than what you're pricing yourself at, because like what you did for me was amazing. And you take that to heart. And I was like, okay, you're right. And so literally after that, like prices went up. I've done
not today's prices.
Exactly. It was like a snowball effect after that event, because after that event, I met Kev on stage and Mrs. Kev on stage, and I was able to do all of their events. And then she referred me to Cody Elaine Oliver, who is the founder and creator of Black Love. And it was, like I said, nurture those relationships, because Tab called back. I worked with her with the Pan-African Film Festival. Like it's been an amazing experience. So that's just one of them. Like I have so many that I can tell you, but we would be here all day.
That just means we have to have you back. That's all. We just have to have you back. But I know my ears are burning, so that means somebody's asking this question. How can people hire you? Where are you based? And like, how can they just connect with you, Tyra?
Yes, so we're actually Los Angeles based, but we travel. As long as you have a budget, you can hire me. Events are not. Events
say that again. Wait, Tyra, say that again. Say that again.
As long as you have a budget, you can hire me. All you have to do is email us at info@linoisagency.com. We are Los Angeles based, but like I said, we do travel, and just have a budget, because events are really expensive. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. So just making sure you're prepared and not giving me a $1,500 budget, because that won't work.
Okay. All right. If you have a budget, and I really want to ask this, because if there's someone who has a budget, does it matter? Is there a price range that's like, no, not so much? Or for somebody who hears you and really wants to work with you, or is there a range that's like, no, we're not doing it? Or are you open?
Well, we're open. It just depends on the type of event you're trying to produce, right? Because if it's like a $20 like birthday, a 20 person, my mistake, a 20-person like birthday dinner, then obviously that budget is going to be a little bit smaller than a higher end 250-person brunch, right? So, or whatever production. I would say just reach out, give us your project details, and then we'll let you know, around what it would cost to produce something like that.
Beautiful. And that's exactly why I asked that. Don't be, you never know till you ask. So
exactly.
Call Tyra. Thank you so much, T. So we definitely have to have you back on the show, but you're officially a part of our Connect fam. And of course, we have so much more in store. So don't move. Go get your tea. Go get your coffee or whatever you drink in the morning. We'll be back, Connect fam. Don't move.
Hi there, I'm Kayla Kraft. I help women make money and increase their net worth. You can find me at mommymillionaire.co, and you can watch me on the Connect Network TV. Make sure to tune in.
I'm AJ Aquia Johnson, and I help people rock their better. I help people connect with their happy. And you're watching Connect Network TV.
Hi, I'm Dondre Whitfield, and go check out my book, Male vs. Man. And you are watching the Connect Network TV.
Welcome back, Connect fam. Your girl Stitches here, and my girl Sandy will be back next Saturday, so don't worry. But This morning, our next guest is Miss Jocelyn Janoris. She owns an online boutique and is said to have a hippie soul. And her company is based on 3 core principles, which is love, inspire, and touch lives. And she is definitely doing that through her candles that are actually toxin and cruelty free and hand poured with a whole lot of love in the US. Help me welcome new to the Connect fam. Hey, Jocelyn.
Hi.
Welcome. I feel the vibes. I feel the vibes with the hat. Can we jump straight into it?
Sure.
Okay, so tell us how you actually got started into this business of candles. How did you get started?
Thank you for the warm introduction, by the way. I really appreciate it. That was awesome. Started as a hobby that came from a place of uncertainty. So having worked in a corporate environment for 17 years of my life, I needed something to distract my mind from all the daily Zoom calls and working halfway down in my pajamas and all that good stuff like we all did, right?
Right.
So I started this candle making journey. You know, from the process, it was just a lot of self-education, a lot of online research. And I was like, why don't I just, let me find out how to make these things. Turns out it's a lot more complicated than anyone thinks. Once I was making them, I realized that I was making them with a ton of intention. It's like I had a ritual every single time, and I was making them for myself and for my home and for friends. But I had a process in which I created each one. And I said, man, I can do something with this. And perhaps I can do something to help others. And very quickly started, applied for my LLC and started the company, not knowing a lick about entrepreneurship because corporate environment for 17 years. So, and now I'm a candle maker, I'm a business owner.
But you jumped in with no fear and you made it happen. So thank you for not stopping and continuing and following your passion on that and sharing your candles with love and intention. Thank you for that. And I want to touch on this. Giving back is also really important to you too. How did you decide actually where to give? And from a business perspective, how do you encourage really other companies to find a platform to give? So it's kind of like a 2-part question.
Yeah. So to answer the first part, this is personal for me. My father struggled with or suffered from mental illness. And sadly, he passed away. So I've chosen to focus on mental health. I've chosen NAMI, which is National Alliance for Mental Illness, because it for me, it really hits home because of my situation, my family situation. How would I encourage other companies to unite with a platform of giving back is authenticity. I think that if you're going to choose a cause that you're going to align with, be authentic about it and make sure that it's something that you're passionate about, because people see right through that. Like you can't really hide that piece of it. So that would be my best advices.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I'm sorry to hear about your father, but how you were able to turn that into something positive and actually really help people with what you're doing. So thank you. In the background, though, we got to talk about what we see. Your candles filled with a whole lot of love and inspiration there. Yeah. So let's talk about some of your best sellers, Jocelyn, because the holidays are right around the corner, right? Mm-hmm. Especially if you're a business owner, it's time to shop for your staff, for your friends, your neighbors. What do we need to get?
So right now, and you'll see it in the background, a little clearer, and hopefully the glare isn't. This is my Free Spirit candle, and by far the best seller that we have right now. I'm obsessed. I'm also an incense lover. So this baby right here actually smells like Nag Champa, which is one of my favorite incense to burn.
Can I tell you a truth? Can I tell you the truth? Jocelyn, I was going to be like, and then I realized.
I wish I could smell it through the screen. I'll share another baby with you. This is Clarity. And Clarity is actually infused with lemongrass essential oils, and I've put some white sage at the top, which is very cool because for those of you that have ever lit sage, it could get very smoky, and this kind of gives you an opportunity to burn. I do want to note something, and if you noticed, these vessels are engraved. So part of our commitment to the environment is to reduce our carbon footprint. So many people are environmentally aware, and you know what we want is to eliminate the need to use labels. So our affirmation collection, this is something real fun for gifts. However, for the affirmation collection, a lot of times I surprise people because it depends on the affirmation that's on the tin. There are several that you could check out on my site. I go real deep with all the candles, right? They all have a message, they have a purpose, they have a meaning. And what that is for me is very different than what it can mean for someone else. Right. So we have our classics collection, not quite as serious, pretty straightforward. Vanilla birch, coffee house, rose petals, without that extra, like, ooh, that heaviness that so it could be perceived as heavy. To me, it's magical and beautiful, and I hope I inspire the world. But we do have our classics collection. This baby right here, coffee house, I'm like trying to get in here. This smells like a coffee house.
You're selling me. You're selling it, Jocelyn. You're selling it.
I love this candle. And I wanted to tell you about these babies right here, little lotion melts. So I'm not just—
Can you eat them? They look like candy. Can you eat it?
You can't eat, you shouldn't eat it. I mean, if you eat it, I don't know that anything super bad would happen. This is organic cocoa, and it's hemp seed oil, very little, and a little tapioca starch, super clean. But this is a moisturizer. Oh. Great for travel. I am not technically going to be— well, I'll be selling them, but 100% goes back to NAMI. So anybody that buys these, once we launch, you are helping a fantastic cause. So
I love it.
That.
Jocelyn, I love it. You got to tell us where we can find all of these amazing things. Where can people go?
So my handle is Hippie Soul Candle Shop. Pretty straightforward. And my website is hippiesoulcandleshop.com. So please, if you have any questions, I know it's hard being an online boutique. You can't smell things over the computer, but I'm happy to guide you. I answer within 24 hours. DM me or send me a chat via email. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit of me.
Jocelyn, you're fabulous. I love it. Follow Jocelyn. Get some of those candles so you can share with your family, your friends, your neighbors, all the things. Why not? Or for yourself, right?
Yes.
For yourself. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you follow her on social media. Like she said, she'll guide you through what might be best for you. More good vibes on the way, Connect Fam. We will be right back. Don't move.
Hi, I'm TK Kwan. And I'm Sabrina Kwan. And we're the founders of Chew on Something. Hey. And we are the founders, as Sabrina said, of Chew on Something. We're also writers and creators, and we work in fashion.
And you can keep up with us at Chew on Something Official. And we're on all the major platforms.
Yeah. And you're watching the Connect Network TV.
We are living in challenging times, and despite having a 9-to-5 job, you still find it difficult to pay your bills and have money left over to spend on experiences that brings you joy. If you're at a point in your life where you know that there is more for you, you want to start a side business and express your multi-passions, but you're not sure if your gifts or ideas can be profitable, believe in yourself and connect with us over at RiKerWalters.com and let us help you to get clear on the knowledge you have that you can monetize right away.
Welcome back, Connect Fam. So we have an amazing guest. Miss Constantine Allen is in the building, y'all. we often really talk about leadership and inspiration. And let me tell you, this woman is honestly sprinkling all of that everywhere she goes. Please help me welcome you to the Connect fam. Give her a warm welcome, Miss Connie. Hi, Connie.
Hi. Oh my God. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
You're so fabulous. Smiles all in the morning. I love it. Welcome to the show. So, Connie, we're going to delve straight into it. You have, I mean, just your resume in itself needs to be applauded. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Let's start with that. But you've taken your decades of long experience, your career serving at Rikers Island, and truly changing the trajectory of the staff and inmates. So please, before we get into your program, really Civilian Corrections Academy, tell us more about working on Rikers Island. And that prison is known to really house some of the most world's notorious criminals. What was that experience like for you? Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. So Rikers Island, I mean, so yes, it does house some of the worst of the worst. But for the most part, stepping in there, starting to work, here I am to provide my little service. And I mean, clearly I wasn't prepared for the realities of the prison subculture, right? So it's one thing to walk in and you think like, I'm going to be super professional. I think I was naive when I first walked in and I didn't know what to expect. And then when I got there, I realized like I'm engaging with this population. There is no partition that's protecting me between me and them. But, it's really a place where one, you have that population that they do jail, like that's what they do. And then you have those inmates who really want a different life, who are looking for resources to truly rehabilitate themselves. And it was awesome to be in a position to provide that.
Right. And I'm guessing that's what really kept you, because as you said, it wasn't easy coming in with one perception and being there. I'm guessing seeing those folks that really wanted help and resources, that's what really encouraged you to stay there, right?
Yes, that was the driving force. It is those guys that were like, so how do I not come back? How do I do this better? How do I do things differently?
Right.
What resources are available to me and can you connect me to them?
And now I want to switch gears into the positive and where you come in and where your academy comes in making that difference and helping. You are the founder and president of Civilian Correction Academy. What is your mission and what are the goals with your program?
For sure. So our mission is to make sure that training is not a one-time event, right? So we have non-uniform employees who work in the correctional environment. Those are your doctors, your nurses, your maintenance workers, your kitchen folks, your social workers, you name it. Anyone who's not uniformed, right? And so for the most part, there's traditional academy training that officers go to, but there really isn't a structured way of training non-uniform staff. And now, don't get me wrong, they do in-services and there are like an abbreviated version of a traditional academy training that you might be allowed to attend, but there's no streamlined process to really make sure that non-uniform staff are adequately prepared for the realities of working with the population.
I mentioned earlier, thank you for sharing that. If we can get into your book, The Cage Was Her Cocoon, A Journey from Prison Administrator to Entrepreneur. That's a beautiful title. Who is this book for? And can you tell us just what is it all about?
For sure. So at the height of pandemic, I decided I was going to write and publish this book, right? And so it's a deeply personal work. It was something that I worked on at a time of not only was I home, but like my daughter had just been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And for me, it was like life is just about to be crazy. It is more of an inspirational memoir that kind of highlights these defining moments in my life where, I was taught like those skills of resiliency, kind of learning in the belly of the beast isn't an easy place to learn, like most of my life lessons. Just to think like those really vulnerable years, my 20s, I spent them working in prison. My reality is as a prison health services administrator, My job is to make sure that they have access to the care that they need. And so, yes, I may have to go and advocate for treatment that typically isn't offered in the setting.
So with what you are doing and the mission that you're really pushing forward, how can we support you, Connie? What can we do to help that information that you want to get out? What can we do?
So, I mean, this being on this platform is already amazing. I mean, you know, working with corrections and just getting my feet in the door has been like a really good thing, you know, because they're acknowledging that this training is needed. From the cage was her cocoon perspective, because we think like, well, what is a cage, right? Everybody's cage is different, right? Mm-hmm. Then there's like the cage of like money. I remember working with a woman who she was like, I can't leave my husband because he controls my bank account. And I was like, what do you like? It's like those things that like, maybe it's not your reality, but here's something that's keeping someone trapped and not living their full potential because, you know, they've somehow convinced themselves that they can't move to the next stage of their lives without whatever that thing is that's holding them back.
And so, Connie, please, I know somebody or many of our Connect fam is asking, how can we connect with her? Where can they go to reach you, Connie? And
yes,
how can we get your book as well?
All right. So for me, I'm at ConnieAline.com. You can find anything, everything about Connie Aline there. The Civilian Corrections Academy is there. There, like my speaking, just everything is there, right? As far as getting a book, www.thecagewashercocoon.com. You can go there, get your book. I'm still actually doing some autographed copies. People think I'm crazy, but like it's an option. You can do an autographed copy or a regular copy. And I also have a workbook that goes with it, and it's included in there as well.
Well, that's amazing. Well, we really appreciate you spending time with us this morning, Constance. I'm excited to announce that actually you're going to be with us for the next several weeks because you're going to be here uplifting families and those that may have loved ones who are incarcerated, and also giving tips and information for other corporations that are working to really help prison reform as well. Yes?
Yes, I will be here.
Constantine. So it's been an amazing show. And again, thank you so much for joining us. And as always, thank you, Connect fam, for allowing us to spend Saturday mornings with you. If you are ready to build your business, maybe you have a book, maybe you have a program, a workbook, something, a brand, and you want to be featured right here on the Connect Network TV. Why not? We want to hear from you. We want to see you. Just connect with us, okay? And you can also keep up with our past episodes. Just head over to the connectonline.com. That's connectonline.com. We will see you next Saturday. As always, God bless, stay beautiful, make a difference, and tell somebody you love them while they can hear it and receive it. Love you for free. Sandy will be back next week. I won't be by myself, but thank you for hanging with me. Have a great day.